Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm an education specialist with Digitalis Education Solutions. I want to reach out to those of you who have telescopes, especially those who have telescopes that you're using online. We now have a way of using the powerful Nightshade Next Generation planetarium simulation software online as well. And I'm going to show you a few options on how you can use Nightshade Next Generation to enhance your online telescope viewing. So I'm flying it live right now. This is one of our, you can drive it with an iPad, so it's very, very easy and intuitive. I'm going to click on the moon and we're going to get a virtual telescopic view of our moon. Now you might not think a virtual version of the moon would be as impressive to your audience as the actual image from your telescope. You're probably right. But there are things that you can do with Nightshade that you cannot do with your physical telescope. For instance, we can add data layers to various bodies. Here's an example of a data layer that we've added to the moon. This shows some of the locations. You can add data layers to the moon, Mars, Earth, even the entire sky. We'll look at that a little bit later. You are able to add your own 360 images. This is an example of a 360 image I took in Dallas. So you can add your own images to personalize Nightshade Next Generation to make it look more like where you are. You can take Nightshade to any place you want on the planet, or set the simulation any place you want on the planet. I'll give you a little example here. So here is a still image from a telescope in Chile, the ELMA telescope, and up here is our Nightshade Next Generation simulation. So we can change our location, we'll change our latitude and longitude and time. This image here was taken on June 25th. And we can speed up time to match the image. The only information I have is that image was taken just before sunrise. So come along here. I think we're getting pretty close to matching. Okay, we'll slow time down here, and then we'll just kind of reorient so that we have a pretty good match to that original image. Nice, huh? So above us is a still image, but this could be, imagine that to be the web feed from your telescope. And then over here is the Nightshade Next Generation simulation. We can do things like add the body labels, right? We could get a zoom in to one of these objects. I just picked Jupiter, and we'll take a look at what Jupiter would look like. Now with your telescope, you might be able to get in close enough to be able to see the other moons of Jupiter. Here we can add the body label so you know which moon is which. That's always a fun way to try to guess with a telescope. We can even control time. So if you want to zoom in really far, we can, in this case I'm going to back up time and watch the moons revolving. Oh, that's cool. There's Ganymede is casting a shadow on the surface of Jupiter. Cool. All right. So something you can't do in your telescope that you can do on Nightshade Next Generation is control time. You can move time forward and backward. You can change your perspective. And that could be a very powerful teaching tool for your audiences. I mentioned earlier that you can add data to various bodies, including the entire sky. So let's do that. I think to do that, we'll switch over to another view. I'm going to show you our Universal Console. So the Universal Console is very easy to operate. These are your time controls here. This is where you change latitude and longitude, where you are on the planet. And over here is our data console. So this is how we can add data sets to the Earth, Europa, Moon, Mercury, Mars, and even the entire sky. So here are the data sets that are available currently. You can even add your own. Let me grab Planck low frequency survey as an example. Okay, and you can see up here it's immediately changing. We can adjust the opacity, right? Get it to however we want. And let me just grab a few others. H alpha map is always really good. Okay. And how about dust survey? Excellent. Now, when you've selected your various data sets, you can see all the ones that you can choose from here. And let's look for an object. So I'm going to bring the image back down to where we were at. Start with. And here's a search function. So we have all the planets and major moons here. But if you want to look for, say, a deep space object or anything that's not listed, there's a search function that lets you do that. So let's look for, there's Magellanic Clouds, of course. Let's look at the small Magellanic Cloud, SMC, and we can get a closer view of that object right here. All right. Pop on over here to the data layers, and now we can look at this through the various filters. This is a great way that you can talk about how different types of telescopes are doing research in different wavelengths of light. We also have the digitized all-sky survey that we've added, and this is telescopic images, so actual photographic images of the night sky all around. And I am slewing across the sky. This is really powerful for your audience to be able to see that. Lots of things that you can do with Nightshade Next Generation that would enhance your experience that you're giving to your audience with your telescope. Now, my favorite thing, though, I haven't even mentioned. You know, your telescope can't control time, but the other thing your telescope can't do is it can't leave the Earth, but we can. We can blast off and leave the entire Earth behind. We can go to other objects, or we could even fly back to the Earth itself and look at our planet from above. Nightshade Next Generation really is a perspective changer. You can talk about why you have your telescope where you have it on the planet. Go to other planets. Let's see, how about we go to Saturn and fly to, and we're on the way to Saturn. So when you're looking at Saturn through your telescope, you already know that you're always going to see the lit up side of Saturn. You're never going to see Saturn going through phases. You're going to see the daytime side of Saturn. But with Nightshade, we can go to the night side of Saturn and look and see how Saturn casts a shadow on the rings, and you can even look back and try to find our own planet. So that little blue circle there is the Earth, and the orbital line of the Earth. And now we'll look back at the Earth through a telescope from Saturn. Pretty cool. All right, lots of things that we can play with. If you'd like some more information, if you'd like to play with this idea of using Nightshade in conjunction with your telescope online, visit us at digitaliseducation.com. Just click on Request Demo, and I'd be happy to set up a time with you to explore the universe with Nightshade Next Generation. Thanks very much.